Hello my dears, and welcome back to my corner of the internet. I'm Shannon, and today I've got another spoiler-free book review to share with you guys, and today we are talking about The Whispers by Ashley Audrain. Now, if you've been around my channel for a while, you might remember a few years ago I did a book review, or a book talk I should say, on Ashley's debut novel, The Push. This book was wild. I loved it. So I was very anxious to see what Ashley would write next. And oh boy. So let's get into The Whispers. The first thing I just want to start off with saying is that having finished The Whispers, it is undeniable that Ashley Audrain is an extremely talented story writer. I loved this book. I think it's going to get another 5 stars for me, just like The Push did. And I will tell you, this isn't a spoiler, but once again, Ashley delivers with that gut punch of a final line. I was the same way I was reeling after that final line in The Push, I was reeling after the final line in The Whispers. She just leaves you wanting to scream, and then what, after both of the endings to both of these stories. So now let's get into the synopsis for The Whispers. First of all, the title refers to that feeling you get in the pit of your stomach when you believe something is true. You know, that intuition that you have, even though you have no proof for it. There's something inside of you that tells you something's not right, something is wrong. And that is The Whispers. So this book is about 4 women that all live in the same neighborhood. We have Rebecca. She's married to Ben. She is a ER doctor, and despite years of trying, they do not have any children of their own. Rebecca has been pregnant 5 times, but has lost all of the babies, and it's heartbreaking. Next we have Blair. She's a mom of a little girl named Chloe, a 10-year-old girl. Her husband is Aiden, and Blair's mostly a stay-at-home mom, but she works a couple of afternoons at a little boutique just so she can get out of the house, make a little spending money. Then we have Whitney. Whitney is the mom of 3, 2 twins, younger twins, and then a 10-year-old boy, Xavier, who is best friends with Blair's daughter, Chloe. Whitney's married to Jacob. Whitney has a very high-powered, busy job. I'm not entirely sure what she does, but she's very busy. And then fourth of all, we have a woman named Mara, who she's older than the rest of these women. She's in her 80s. She lives with her husband, Albert, in a home across the street from Whitney. And she doesn't really have a lot to do with these women. You know, she's kind of older and on her own, but she sees a lot. And from there, this would be what I would qualify as a domestic thriller, as we're learning about these women, their lives, the darkest parts of their lives, the darkest parts that can sometimes, for some people, come along with motherhood, which, if you've read The Push, you know that this is a topic that Ashley is obviously very interested in exploring, the darkness that comes along with motherhood, or that can sometimes come along with motherhood. Fingers crossed, you know, none of us have gone through the things that the mothers in Ashley's books have gone to, but to some degree you can, even if you've never felt it yourself, you can relate to those sort of feelings. So the book starts off with a birthday party. It's the twins' birthday party, Whitney's twins. And the party is in September. And we keep coming back to this night because it's a very pivotal, important night for a lot of these characters. So at this party, we're getting to know all the moms and sort of their dynamics with each other and with their husbands. And that night we learn that Whitney has a terrible rage problem, a bad temper. At one point during the party, she's looking for her son and she can't find him. And again, this isn't a spoiler, this happens right at the beginning. So she's looking for her son, she cannot find him. She goes into the house, she's trying to find him. Eventually she does, she finds him upstairs in his bedroom, and he has all the loot bags for all the kids from the party dumped out on his bed. And he's eating the cookies in it. And she loses her mind. And she starts screaming at him in a way that is so first of all, unnecessary. Second of all, so disturbing. The words that she screams at him are words I wouldn't say to my worst enemy, let alone my own child. And it's very disturbing. And then she notices that the party downstairs, which is outside, has gone quiet. Like, there's 50 guests out there. And all of a sudden, you could hear a pin drop. And she realizes that his bedroom window is open and everybody has heard her. Like, what would you even do if you were one of the guests at this party and you hear this woman, this friend of yours upstairs, screaming like a psychopath at her 10-year-old child? Then after that, we shift to 9 months later, and there's been an accident. There's been an accident with Xavier, Whitney's 10-year-old son. He ends up at the hospital, unresponsive from having fallen out of his bedroom window, which is like on the 3rd story of their house, the 2nd or 3rd story. So it's a long fall. And so from there, we began to watch this story piece by piece come together as we're waiting to find out what happened to this kid. Since we saw this display of rage from Whitney, did she do it? Did he fall? Did he jump? What happened that night? And as we get to know these women and their stories and what happened to him, it is a wild ride. It's so good. It's so good. I could not put it down. When it was over, I was like, oh, it's over. I was so disappointed it was over, because it's such a great story. Ashley, Audrain, your storytelling is spectacular. It's so good. It's so good. She keeps you so engaged. And then that ending. If you're watching this video in the future and you've already read the book, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not going to say too much more than that because I don't want to say too much. This book comes out the beginning of June, I think June 5th. I'll double check and put the date in the description box for you so you can mark your calendars. If you liked the push, definitely mark your calendars. If this sounds interesting to you, definitely mark those calendars. And yeah, that's gonna do it for me for today. I just had to get on here and tell you all about it. I can't wait to see what she comes out with next. Just amazing. I could see this being turned into a movie or a limited series. Same goes for the push. They're both, I think they would lend very well to visual storytelling. And speaking of, did you guys, okay, this is not the review, this is something else, but it's book related. I saw Apple TV is coming out with a limited TV show, limited series for The Last Thing He Told Me, that book. Why? I was so disappointed in that book, and I kept thinking after I heard about this show, which is going to star Jennifer Garner, who I really like. I just think there are so many amazing books that they could have put the energy into turning into a series, but The Last Thing He Told Me, no. But you know what, maybe the show will be better. Anyway, let me know if you've read that book too and what you thought of it. Maybe it's just me. I mean, obviously people are going to like it. That's the beautiful thing about books. Just because I didn't like one or you didn't like one doesn't mean that lots of other people won't like it. Anyway, I just had to share that thought. Okay. Bye guys.